Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the RDA. This is the big one, boys. This is the Manchester United vs Leeds match preview. This is going to be one of the most exciting, one of the most interesting, and I think one of the most tactical previews we will do for quite a while. I think, let's just address the elephant in the room. That you can see there's only two of us. That's because, our boy Clay, he's currently moving and the Wi-Fi is basically not up at his place. And, we live in a third world country where we just don't have access to internet everywhere. So, it is what it is. But anyways, we are not here for that. I just have to address that. But the show must go on, boys. The show must go on. This is a big, big game, like I said. So if you are new to the channel, do subscribe, do comment, do like, all those good things. But yeah, before we get into it, Mr. Malota, I will ask you, first of all, how are you? And, especially now that it's been a day after the Sheffield game, how are you feeling?
Nah, I'm feeling good. Been a long day. No better way to end a long day with a nice preview.
Yep.
And a nice big game to look up to. And yeah, a lot of contrasting opinions in last night's show.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Honestly, I felt like, I don't know, I felt like there was a somber mood from you guys about the game. And I don't know, I just felt like we played better than that. I think we had some good moments. And I'm not going to say we showed promise because we've seen this before. I was going to say it was a good game. But with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he has to do it for 15 more games for us to trust him again or anything like that. And on top of that, the game wasn't perfect anyway. So, yeah. But I do think going forward, there were some good things. And I don't know if we're going to be able to replicate it in this game. Or from your guys' point of view, I don't know if we're going to be able to get away with the poor performance against Leeds.
Yeah, there's no chance. I think there is. Okay, I wouldn't say there's no chance, but I wouldn't chance it. That's what I would say. I wouldn't chance it against Leeds. You can. This is a game where you've got to be fully concentrated, fully focused. Before we get into the tactical stuff, let's just address the rivalry with Leeds United, because I'm pretty sure not many people will know, especially the new Manchester United fans. Arguably us as viewers. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
To be honest.
Even us, we don't know what the real rivalry about United is. But from what I've read, from what the older United fans say, it's evidently the root. If you have to go into the history about this rivalry, the whole root was that I think there was a civil war between Man United and Leeds. The cities, whatever. I think it was. I don't know the full story, but I think the story was that Leeds were like more in the city or something. There was some war for some transport things, or
Okay.
United at the dock. And so because it was a war and stuff, and eventually, these two football clubs were made in their respective cities that were fighting against each other, so you can understand, things got heated, it's always like, to put it in a lighter term, let's just say, locally, for an example, let's just say you live in Four Ways, I live in, let's say, Santon or whatever, and then Santon, we are the most popular, well, like, I wouldn't say, it's not a city, but like, the most popular spot within this country. You kind of popular, but you're not there. And we stole your business. Santa stole your business. They stole all of that. There was war, civil war. Things like that. So that was the brief history from what I've read. That's where the rivalry stems from, and just over the years, that's where. So that was the root of why the rivalry was the main thing. And then over the years, obviously, because they had football teams, just kept on growing and growing and growing. And an interesting stat about this Manchester United versus Leeds rivalry is that United, evidently, head to head, they don't win this game. We just don't win this game. Whether it was Sir Alex Ferguson, the Busby Babes, Ollie now, it's evidently in this history, no matter what team we had, the great 90 class of 99 team, the great 08, 07, the 07, 08 team, whenever we play Leeds, it's an L. It's an L. So, it's very interesting, So that's just a brief history, yeah.
That lost that's a bit away, to be honest, especially with how we're playing at the moment. But yeah, I don't know. It's got this Liverpool United vibe to it. I don't know why. Like this
I
vibe
also
that
feel like it.
both the teams are going to turn up because there's so much history in the match, and
Yeah.
it's going to be an aggressive match. So I'm really excited to see what happens in the weekend.
Yeah, some would say that this is not really a rivalry, and I can understand it because obviously Leeds haven't been in the Premier League for who knows how long. I definitely wasn't old enough at the time Leeds were in the Premier League or even dominating the Premier League to tell you much about them. So I can't really speak about it. But evidently the rivalry got lost. But now they're back in the league. They're playing very good football, and We can
I
only
think
talk about what's happening now.
I think the point that it's remembered says a lot because
Mm.
we had a rivalry maybe with Newcastle over the title, and there's been other teams that have fallen away that we've had some sort of rivalries with. But the fact that United fans were looking at Leeds last season in the Championship, some saying they mustn't come back, some saying let them come back so we can face them again. It just shows that they must be something special that sadly we missed and might
Well,
see again
yeah,
now.
we're just a bit young, and probably quite a lot young, to be honest. We're now like in our
Mm.
20s, so yeah, there's no chance of us remembering those days. But yeah, boys, I will say this, that is the rivalry. That's your history lesson for today. You see, on the RDA, yeah, we teach you things as well. We teach you things as well, besides talk nonsense about
Not just
football.
football.
Yeah, besides that. But the show must go on because Moloto boy, it's Oli ball versus Bielsa ball, and I tell you what, guys. Tactically, there's no competition. Marcelo Bielsa is
Man.
actually considered to be, if not one of the greatest managers of all time. He might not manage the flashy teams like your Barcelona's, Madrid, United's, Liverpool, but the reason behind Bielsa's record and why why his reputation precedes him is because again, this whole thing is like a history lesson. Bielsa's history was that he was a manager for his national team and a local team back in Argentina, so that's what it was. In fact, if you look at his prodigies are both Pochettino and Pep Guardiola, both of which Pep Guardiola says Marcelo Bielsa is the greatest tactician and greatest manager in the world. That's out of Pep Guardiola's mouth, a manager highly considered to be one of the best of all time, So he might not have the flashy trophies, the flashy teams, but the story about Bielsa, they call him, what's it called? A loco, which means crazy, a madman, which he is because supposedly that when he started into management, he analyzed the game like no team before back then. Revolutionized playing in triangles, something which he called super numerical, which is just number advantage, a fancy word for number advantage. If you put 3 men behind the ball or 3 men pressing, it's more likely that you're going to win the ball or possession because you've got more men behind the ball. Tactically, this is a very good manager we're speaking about. When you went to approach Pochettino as a player, you said to go to Pochettino's family home. You spoke to his mother, and Pochettino at the time was sleeping, and he said that I don't need to speak to your son. I just need to see his legs. He looked at Pochettino's legs and knew that he would be a professional footballer. One of those. It's weird. The stories precede him. This guy's crazy. He is very crazy. In fact, I think the team he managed in Argentina, I can't remember the name because I've had a mind blank, but I think they renamed the stadium to Bielsa, Marcelo Bielsa Stadium or something like that. Something along those lines. So he's a highly respected manager across the world of football, He's highly respected football. There's stories again about Bielsa analyzing the game so passionately that even in his spare time and as his hobby, he's watching even old football games, new football games, taking down notes and analyzing the game. That's what he does for fun. That's his way of fun, He might not he doesn't really speak that much English. He's not fluent. He's obviously got the translator, but you can clearly see the things he has in his mind. He gets across very well into his team. You look at how well drilled Leeds are. You look at how crazy Leeds perform. They're a very disciplined team and they play very attractive football. Another thing about Bielsa is he doesn't sit back. Moloto, I'm sure you'll know this. I know you didn't know much about Bielsa until this season. And then even towards the, earlier on in the season when Clayton and I were telling you about Bielsa, you're like, let's see. And now, I'll let you speak about it. It's about Bielsa's football.
Yeah, no. Complete contrast from Ole. Complete contrast. Like, one tactically horrendous and one probably the top of his game. Like, just the stories, like, send fear, to be honest, in terms of this game. And, yeah, I didn't know much of him for this season, but from what I've seen, he's been very impressive. And just the names, like he mentioned Pep and Pochettino, like wow, that's incredible. And you can see in the football the influence he's had from them, because if you just watch Leeds and you just watch Man City and you watch Tottenham in their prime, you can visibly see the similarities. And I'm scared, I won't lie. I'm scared for this game.
And I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, what's amazing about it is that he plays this football that the clubs and the Peps and the Pochettino's play with these insane squads, but he manages to play the same football and it be progressive.
Mm.
Maybe it's not so much defensively because it's very difficult to do that when you play such offensive football. I mean, yeah, but he plays this offensive football so productively with lesser players, and I think that's impressive.
Mm.
And I fear they might expose us.
Yeah.
I fear they might expose us.
Another thing
because
is it's just
I
about
think
because the famous saying is that when it's a rivalry game or it's a derby game, all form and all tactic and things fly out the window. And the thing I can think about it like this way. If we look at us, right, Manchester United, one of the biggest football clubs in the world, if not probably still the biggest in terms of fan base, revenue, all that stuff, and all of that stuff. You look at Paul Pogba's Bruno Fernandes. Bruno, you can see he's a hard-working lad. He loves his team. He'll give everything for Manchester United. You look at the rest of our squad. Some could say, they're just highly talented footballers paying to do a job. Now, in a derby game, if you look at Leeds, the story with Leeds again, when Bielsa took over Leeds, is that on the first few opening weeks, when Bielsa took the Leeds job, he made all the Leeds squad players go around the city picking up trash and litter and helping them throw away, and then he brought them back. And then when the Leeds players asking why are you making us professional footballers pick up litter, trash, doing all this lower class work, it's like, and then he said the message is that I want you guys to understand how hard fans work to watch you guys play. I mean,
yeah,
this
what a man.
What a man. What? And I know we're not supposed to speak highly about Leeds, but guys, I really do love Leeds. You can kill me all you want. You can say, how can you say that? You're not a true United fan. But credit's due. Bielsa and this team, it's hard not to like them. It's hard not to back them.
Yeah, it is.
Everything, from the stories, from the history of this club, it's like, why wouldn't you love this game? Why wouldn't you love this game? Especially if you're a United fan. This upcoming game, I can't say it seriously enough. I think it's the second biggest behind Liverpool and United in terms of us, in terms of who we can play. It's a big game,
It is a big game. I feel like maybe a lot of people won't realize that because Leeds, you look at them, they're not such a big team, but it is a big game. And tactically, look, we don't run much anyway. We get outrun by most teams in the Premier League, which is a sad thing. Chelsea beat Leeds a couple of weeks ago, and they were the first team to outrun Leeds.
Yeah.
Like, they had to do that much to beat Leeds. Us against a team that runs so much, I worry, honestly. And I think we saw a blueprint of what Leeds could do to us when we played Leipzig at their home.
Exactly.
Because we tried to do all the counter things, we tried to do a thing, but they pressed us so much that we started to sink. And I worry that Leeds might do that to us. And they create chances at will, they play these fancy triangles, and I just worry that counter-attacking football won't cut it in this game.
It won't. And before I get into the team or whatever, I'm gonna say this right now. You want Bielsa's game plan, right? He's probably gonna play his classic 4-1-4-1. That's his favorite formation. 4-1-4-1. That is Bielsa's formation. What you'll get from Bielsa's team, non-stop sprinting, up down, up down. That team works for each other. They will work as a unit, as a team. No individual brilliance. No, it is a well-drilled freaking workhorse of a team. Like you said, they don't have anywhere near the quality of players that we have. But Bielsa has got that team drilled. Like, they're almost like robots. They are androids. They know what to do, when to press, when to counter. They're actually if you look at them, they play almost as a counter, but they press is so intense. It's if you thought Leipzig's press was intense, well, you're gonna wake up soon.
Insane.
You go watch Leeds.
I feel like if you're pressing high, then there will be turnover balls and you will get a chance to counter. Like, you shouldn't, if you're gonna play complete football, if you like, you shouldn't rely on one style. Like, we're gonna sit back and counter. It should be variations of your play, and I feel like that's what teams like Leeds, Liverpool, and Man City once upon a time had.
Yeah. Now, before we get into the team, the other thing I'm going to say is that there is one common denominator between Leeds and United. They might seem like complete opposite teams. One plays this attractive, hard-working football, non-stop, pressure. United, on the other hand, sit back. They look to break you on the counter. One has quality players, one have not so quality players. One has a tactically inept manager, one has a brilliantly inept manager. It's almost like we're playing the opposite. But there's one common denominator. and that is Leeds United and Manchester United's defense are awful. Both of these defenses are awful. They are suspect. They concede goals like there's no tomorrow. That is for sure. So I think about this game, it's easy to say, well, then surely the better defending team wins. Yeah, fair play. If you say that, I completely understand where you're coming from. But I actually think in this game, Olutha, and I want your thoughts on this as well, is that I think the best attacking team is probably going to win this game, and I think it's going to be an absolute goal fest.
Like, if you can't beat the press, if you can't keep up with the press, like, they're gonna shatter your defense. I think. Like, if you have frailties on the pitch, I feel like a team that presses like they do is gonna destroy you. Because we look at Man City. I think if you go back to 2018, if we tried to do what we did to Man City twice last season, tried to do it to that Man City, it wasn't going to work. Why it can work now is because these teams, yes, they have quality defenders, but they defend so well because they defend from the front. They press so quickly, they get the ball quickly, and they can turn over on you. Man City lost that, so they become susceptible on the counter. With Leeds, they are insane on the press, like probably one of the best in the world, as you said. Yeah. And I just feel like it's gonna nullify everything we try to do. I can see that happening, really.
And the thing is, that's what I worry about, because like I said, all the stories I said about Bielsa in this show, about him analyzing games for breakfast. I don't know why, guys. I got this feeling he's got us. The game plan is set to kill us. It's set to kill us. Yeah, I think and it's negative. And obviously, I'm not saying we're gonna 100% lose this game. United are they have more than enough quality to go smack Leeds. Smack them out the park. But I wouldn't say put some respect on Leeds. I think that's what it is. To put some respect on Leeds. I think that's what it is about.
There's the saying in football that the team that works hard has a better chance of winning, and I think with Leeds we've seen it. Like, and Ole keeps saying it, like, we need to run more than the other team, but then other teams always are running us. So I don't know what Ole's coming with. But yeah, it's insane. So like the fact that they work so hard, I think is a massive advantage they have over everybody else.
And that's why
And on top of that, it's like I feel like this show is gonna be full of Leeds praises, because what can we say about United? It's a United fan channel, but like all we can say is sit back and counter, really. So I'm sorry, but on top of that, they do what we struggle with so much, is getting behind the defense. When we somehow manage to get all our attacking players on the pitch, like we saw against Sheffield, we can kind of do it, but then everything is always in front of the defense. These guys are able to create a ridiculous amount. And then I just think about those two clowns at the back facing that in Maguire and Lindelof. Yep. It just scares the crap out of me.
Exactly, and that it leads me on to the next point, because let's talk about this team, this predicted 11 that I have on my left, wherever I don't know how you're watching, from wherever, but my left, right? Let's talk about this team. Let's get into it. We'll start off with goalkeeper David De Gea. I think there's no complaints. I think he's going to be quite a busy goalkeeper on Sunday. I think he will be quite a busy goalkeeper. Yes. And after the game, Dean Henderson had... surely David De Gea walks straight back in.
And I've noticed in De Gea that, I don't know, I feel like in games where is more busy, that he seems to turn up, In games where he's not having much to do, and then he will make the silly mistake. But in the Tottenham or the Man Cities of this world, he'll make these ridiculous saves. And I'm hoping we can get a performance like that from this weekend, because we do know we're going to be facing a lot of shots. I think that's guaranteed in this game.
Yeah,
definitely have to hit.
Yeah. Luke Shaw again, because like I said, he's probably our best defensive option at the moment, and we need Luke Shaw. If Tellez plays this game, we're getting ripped apart. I'm telling you now, we're getting ripped apart on that left-hand side. We need Luke Shaw to step up and have a Luke Shaw performance if there's any chance.
If I see Tellez, Harry Maguire, and Victor Lindelof next to each other, I'm turning my TV off. I'm turning my TV off. There's no point watching, because they're going to smack us. I think we need players who can defend in this game, and we definitely need Luke Shaw, because the interplay is going to be on another level, and we need someone who's really good positionally, and I think Luke Shaw is the perfect person for that.
Yep.
Do you think there's any chance Ole might realize what we're saying and go for the 5 at the back in this game?
I mean, he's a thinker, man, for one. We know he likes changing his formation. So that it's never, I'd say it's never say never, but I do think he's going to go to his classic, work hard team today.
Um,
Well, for this game at least. I think if even Ollie would understand that, the way Leeds play, he's going to want a team that's going to work their asses off for him. They might not be the best players, they might not be our best players, but everyone on this team on my left, sorry, is going to work hard. Each and every one of those players will work hard. But just working hard and you're playing for the badge and everything. Let's talk about these two clowns, Chris. Let's talk about these two clowns because this is where the nightmares is. Remember if we had two solid centre backs, I wouldn't have to worry about this game. But these two.
Yeah.
Oh,
I see the weakness symbol there.
Yeah, the weakness symbol always. It could be a sign. I don't know. I don't know. And we know there's no one. He's not going to pick anyone else. So there is no other. So this is where the problem is. But we know. Let's not touch on them because we know what their weaknesses are. And against that Leeds press, they could get picked apart. Leeds are pacey. They're hardworking. It seems like they're aggressive. It's like it's this whole centre back partnership. Their weakness. It's their weakness. Aaron Bissaka. Yeah.
I wife Aaron Bissaka. I was about to go on to him, but I feel like what we saw against Leipzig, where he's been asked to tuck in next to Victor Lindelof because it's a ice.
Yep.
And if we're exposed by whoever's playing on that side, like we were with Angelino, that's going to be a big one.
So that's the thing, right? Because Leeds play a 4-1-4-1, which is quite wide, it can be quite compact. Knowing Bielsa, who knows? Sometimes it's 3-3-3-3. That weird formation we see. It's just 3-3, all of a sudden 3-3-3-3, and it's like what? Or then it's 4-1-4-1, or now it's 5 at the back, and then it's crazy. It's crazy. They can switch anything at the blink of a second. So, Aaron Bissaka and Luke Shaw, I think, are vital in this game. Because we need those guys to stay wide. Don't hold their hands. If we concede goals because you hold their hands, I don't want to hear it. If they concede goals and you weren't holding your hands, it is what it is. We know their shit anyways. But Luke Shaw and Aaron, you need to stay wide in this game and hold the foot. Make sure no crosses come into the spot because they like crossing. And you put in those tackles. You have to put in those tackles this weekend. You got to want it.
Keep it simple. Mark your man. Don't give him space because I don't think we can afford to be trying anything fancy. Nothing fancy. Because Ole can't do fancy. So in this game, I'll accept him being simple.
Yeah. In fact, I'll draw a key symbol for all the players I think are vital for this game. So I think Aaron Bissaka and Luke Shaw are absolutely. This is probably the worst key drawing in the world. Well, yeah, it's not that bad, but those guys are so far key. And actually, Fred and Scott, Mick Fred, if they're one player, if there ever is a chance, if there ever is a time, I'm going to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer an excuse to use these men, is this game. I think you put Paul Pogba in, we are in trouble. He leads with that press on Paul Pogba's first touch and the amount of time Paul Pogba likes to take. They will Paul Pogba will get a 2 out of 10 in that match reaction. Mark my words, he will get a 2 out of 10. He will cost us the midfield battle if Paul Pogba plays against Leeds United. Bielsa will 100% know that if Paul Pogba plays, he knows he's going to get a lot of the ball of Paul Pogba. He will press Paul Pogba till he's dead. Till Paul Pogba is dead. He will become an irrelevance in this United team. So Fred, I think he comes back into the team. I think it's good he got arrested. I think I don't drop Fred. Fred is very important to this United team. And the other question going to be asking is, what about Donny? Donny can play in this game. His passing is great. He's very tenacious. He knows everything you want in this game. Hardworking, very intelligent. But the reality of the situation is, Ali is nowhere near going to pick Donny van de Beek. He is the last choice midfielder. So it's not happening. Malot, what do you have to say about Fred and Scott, and whether or not you would start Donny van de Beek in a game like this?
Yeah, and I feel like Matic would be comfortable on the ball because Matic, he's good at that. But I feel like he won't be dynamic enough, so I think he's a no-no in this game. If Pogba plays, we're conceding a penalty because he's going to make a defensive mistake, and they're going to destroy him on the press. He won't get the ball enough, so Pogba's a no-no in this one. Pogba needs those games where, it's Brighton, they're going to sit back. He has all of the ball. He doesn't have to defend much. That's okay. I think I'm not being fair to Brighton. They don't really sit back anymore. But, he needs that type of team, the West Brom of old kind of team. And I think Fred is definitely in this game. I think Fred, if Fred's not playing, we're in trouble. I think if Fred plays, we have a chance because, as we all know, he's very tenacious, he's very good in tackling, and
He'll get you out of the
yeah,
press. We've seen when Fred wasn't
yeah,
at the Leipzig game how bad that press was
yeah,
against us. So we need Fred to get us out of the press.
yeah. I think him and Scott can do that. But in terms of being press resistant, honestly, I think Donny and Fred would be much better, to be honest. It won't happen, we all know, but I think it'd be much better. I think Fred has got the defensive side. Donny is not bad defensively, but I feel like one, as I said, he's press resistant, and two, he can get us going forward. I feel like in this game, yes, we do have the Duracell bunnies in Fred and Scott, but then I feel like the ball is not getting to Bruno as effectively
That's
with
the
Scott
thing.
playing,
That's the thing.
and
Yeah.
yeah, with Donny playing, it's like the best of both worlds. So I think Donny has to play in this game because as much as we need to be solid at the back, we need to score goals. We need to win this game. A
Yeah.
draw is not acceptable, which I can see Olo going for. And I would definitely play Donny, and I play Donny every single game. Donny
Same.
would rest my team,
Same.
but
Well,
Ole,
we know it's not gonna happen.
Ole's
Yeah.
Ole.
Yeah, so we know it's not gonna happen. Donny would be perfect for this game because, like, why? Attacking also. It's not just defensively and shape. It's attacking, which I'm gonna get to now because what did I said earlier before we got to the predicted team, that it's not gonna be defense that wins us this game. Defense is very important in this game, obviously, but it's all about the attack. I think both of these teams probably like, you know what?
We have to match them.
We none of us got defenses to save our lives. Go for it. So these man here got to be odd jokers. These four men here, Rashford, Mason Greenwood, Anthony Martial, and Bruno Fernandes, have got to have the game of their life. And that's why I'm so annoyed because I know Bruno is not fully rested for this game. He will be a bit tired. Rashford, I'm expecting a big game from Rashford. Martial, I'm expecting a big game from Martial. Greenwood, I don't know. It's a young player. You never know what you're going to get from Mason Greenwood. And the thing is, like you said, this whole thing relies on one player, and that's Bruno Fernandes. Every week, game in, game out, it relies on Bruno Fernandes. But when you play these two, like you just touched on, will these two get the ball quick enough and enough times to Bruno Fernandes to do something? It's in there, and this is where it becomes interesting also because I think this will 100% probably be the team. This will 100% be the team. And now, is this team going to be good enough to win?
Honestly, I don't know. I think it's very possible we might see one match which will be a disaster because he doesn't have the legs. But I don't know. I feel like Ole will fancy him in this game over Mason Greenwood. But to beat such a high pressing team, you need quality on the ball. You need to move quickly. And I think we saw, yes, we had Pogba doing, but we saw the interplay with these guys can be on the next level with Sheffield. And I think we're going to need this and that in this game. And I think it's a talent. There's enough on that pitch, but we have to go with them. I feel like Ole needs to learn. Ole needs to analyze the Leipzig game and say it's very similar to how Leeds play. We lost that game because we went defensive and we didn't have the players. Yes, maybe we have more players today, but I still do think that defensively, going defense is not the way to go in this game. It honestly isn't. I think you're giving Leeds what they want, giving them the ball, giving them the space, and you're saying you try break us down, which is ridiculous. So I think we need to go at them. That defense, Shaw and Obasaka, yes, they need to stay in their positions. The two in Scott and Fred need to be tenacious, and that front four, they need to be quick on the ball to match the energy that Leeds give off. Because I feel like that's what Chelsea did, and Chelsea won. And to be honest, yes, they have an expensive Werner, they have an expensive Havertz, but I think that front four, in my opinion, Chelsea and have way more chemistry. And if we can match Leeds' aggression, I think we could hurt them with the front four.
Yeah, I think for me, where this game is lost or won is in the midfield. I think that's what it is. I think our attack is way better than their attack is. Obviously, they got Bamford, who is in the form of his life. He's in the form of his life. Pele to the guy. Lots of people had negative things to say about him. Said he wouldn't make it. I applaud you, Bamford. You shut them all up. I respect you for that. So yeah, he's a great player in form. They got Rafinha, who I said is a Rashford. Rafinha is a Rashford. He does the same type of things. Drives at the ball. He can skill a player. Very pacey. He's got a mad shot on him. But the one thing I'd say Rafinha's got over Rashford is that he's got a higher IQ. He's coached well. I wouldn't say higher IQ. He's coached better than Marcus Rashford. That's what I'll say. He's coached better than Marcus Rashford, and I think that's what it is. So I think Rashford and Rafinha is going to be a nice thing to watch. Watch both of them. Very similar players. I'd say lots of you might not know about Rafinha. The only reason I swear it's like I'm a Leeds history notebook. But the only reason I also know about Rafinha a lot is that ironically I found him in a video game, Football Manager, and from Football Manager I literally started tracking his real life progression from his real life clubs, his real life stats, and I seen the players evidently claim to be what he was, similar to what he is in the game. And I've seen him now in the Premier League, and he reminds me a lot of Marcus Rashford, just coached a little bit better. So that's a very interesting battle. So but yeah, for me, do you agree or disagree? Do you think that this game is won or lost in the midfield?
I think so, but I think it's going to be increased by the defense and how poor. You can probably hear that, I think, but I think it's going to be increased by how poor our backline is, because I think I'll make a few examples. We played Chelsea and we played on the counter, and it worked effectively last season. I think as good as Chelsea are on the ball, they're not as high pressing and as effective as switching it. So you can get away with just putting all your players behind. Like, look at Spurs. I think Spurs against Liverpool is a good example. Spurs played very deep, and it's worked against the Sixers of this world. It worked against everybody else. It didn't work against Liverpool, because Liverpool pressed so high and they switch the ball so many times. They go left, they go right, they hold it, and they just pull you sideways. And with Wan-Bissaka and Shaw, like, I just worry that they're gonna tear us apart before we can even do anything offensive.
Yeah.
That's my worry. And
So
I think, yes, the midfield is everything. I think the only way we beat them is by a really good midfield, but being effective in the midfield. But I think we won't be effective in the midfield, and because of our defensive frailties, it's going to be exaggerated.
yeah. So do you think before I show you the next thing, do you think that predicted midfield can do the job, or do you not have faith in them?
I don't have faith in Olin. I don't think he's going to play the right tactics. I don't think he's going to learn from Leipzig. I think he's going to take the same approach, maybe not the same formation. He's going to take the same approach, and it's going to cost us.
Yeah. Now I'll do.
But I think the midfield.
Watch this. Wait. This year is gonna blow your mind, right? Let's watch this. I'm gonna put 2 player names here, Chris. I want you to tell me how much you feel. So, what that previous midfield before I raised Scott McTominay, it was Bruno, Fred, Scott. It's like a 50-50. Do you agree? It's a 50-50. Right? Now, let's just say I had Donny. What is your win percentage now? What do you think? Give me a percentage. If Scott was 50-50, what do you think it is now to get a result? Forget tactics, just on the plays alone.
I think it's possible we could win if Ole doesn't even show up, to be honest. And that's insane, considering one player. But I do think that as an individual, he's that talented of a player. And I think that midfield is so much more progressive.
Yeah. So you would say about a 70%, 70 plus, 70 plus from a 50-50. Yeah, that's fair. I can take those odds as a United fan, right? Now, this is crazy. Watch this. This is crazy. Now, what if I give you this midfield? What if this is the midfield against Leeds? What's our win percentage? Mine's below 50%. I don't see Pogba being afraid. I love Paul Pogba. He is a world-class player. But boy, do not play him against Leeds. It is his weakness.
Not the
Leeds play to this guy's weakness.
We've seen it. We saw him against Southampton.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is that as crazy as it might seem, this might be. We will never see this midfield. We seldom see it's probably the majority of fan base think is our best midfield. Fred, Bruno, and Pogba. But in a game like this, I don't know.
Against a low block, there's a shout that it's a brilliant midfield. But against a team like this, Pogba's going to be a nightmare. He's not tenacious enough. He's not quick enough. He seems a bit lazy sometimes, and I think he's going to be a massive defensive liability. So, Pogba's a no-no. I'd rather play with just Fred and Bruno, to be honest.
So I'm going to put it because I think honestly, by that one player, I can guarantee you that's probably going to be the team. That'll probably 100% be the team unless Oli surprises us, some other tactical team, or some other 5-back or diamond. That would you? I'm gonna ask you that question. Would you play any of our other formations that Ollie has played in this game?
No.
Considering the way Leeds play 4-1-4-1, would you play a diamond back
No.
five? Nothing. You would stick with the 4-2-3-1.
Diamond with another manager. Diamond maybe Pochettino because I know he used the extra midfielder to his advantage, and he'll be very good on the ball and take it to Leeds. With this guy, we're gonna try play on the counter with the Diamond, which is a bit ridiculous sometimes. And I just think he must stick to the basics and just have those two protect the clowns and have those two be dynamic and get the Bruno, and maybe we can get something. So
Yeah.
Diamond's a no-no.
The other thing I'm gonna put an M there. I'll put an S there because this is gonna be very interesting. We don't have Clayton today. Nope. Can't really see that S over. Let's put an S over like there. Right. An M and an S, boy. Obviously for Moloto and Shoni. Because I wanna hear it, boy. I wanna hear it. What's your score prediction? Taking everything you said, I've given you Bielsa backstory, I've given you the rivalry story, I've given you the circumstances and under which it will probably be. I've given you all the information for you to make your opinion, and obviously you have your own research, you've done your own research, you've watched football for also a long time, and also try your hardest to give me genuinely what you think is going to happen.
I know I'm acting like I don't know because I do know. I knew this morning, to be honest. I knew last night thinking about the game. As you've heard, I have really said nothing to defend on. And it's all about the Leeds tactics. And yeah, we're going to play on the counter. Wan-Bissaka is going to tuck in. They're going to destroy us on the wings. They're going to overload as they do. We won't be effective enough on the counter. Midfield-wise, Fred will be great, I guess. Bruno won't get a lot of the ball. McTominay will just be there. And Leeds are going to thump us, in my opinion. I think we're going to lose 3-1.
Well,
yeah.
3-1. Interesting. Very interesting. Before I give my score prediction, I'm going to say this. We are a United fan channel, and if you're a United fan watching this, I'm not saying there's no chance we don't win this game. Of course we do. If this man has one of the games of his lives, he wins the game one man. He will win you a game one man. Bruno Fernandes will win you the game. Same can be said about Rashford, Martial, Mason Greenwood. On their day, that team will win you a game out of nowhere. You don't need tactics or anything. But let's just say from what the evidence we have, let's try and make it what can I say? What they call it? A thought out. Oh Lord, I'm having a stink here. But let's just use my brain. I'm gonna give a prediction with my brain. So I touched on it. I said both these teams have one common denominator. They both have absolutely awful defenses. Leeds are more well drilled. They're more well drilled than Ollie. Tactically, I think they'll be up for it. I think they'll be more up for it in terms of passion. And at Derby, it's a good advantage to have that. We have a lot more quality play, way more quality of a player than Leeds United. So there's always that. Sorry about that. But yeah, I think I agree with you. I think it'll be a goal fest. I think it's not going to be a boring game. I think if you're neutral, and if you do have the time to watch this game, definitely watch the game. I think it's going to be an absolute belter of a game in terms of paper tactics and all of that, the evidence I have. But I agree with Moloto. I think we're going to lose 3-2. I don't see our defense, keeping up with the way Leeds play. And that's just, I'm really interested to know what Clayton said. Obviously, we speak to him off camera, so it is what we will know. But I would have been very interested to see what Clayton said.
Yeah, no. I gave us one because I think we just go, to be honest. I think
Bruno will get a goal.
We're going to be defending a lot. Yeah, no. If anyone's going to get a goal, it's me.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to be defending a lot. And I think on transition, it won't be the sit back, counter effectively, as we've done sometimes, because I don't think they're going to give us the space to do that. And yeah, I think we'll get one lucky goal, but I do think they're going to school us. I do think it's going to look like we're the small team and they're the big team. And yeah, I don't have much hope for this game.
Exactly. But let's just, because that looks very negative. You know, we praise Leeds a lot. But we have to say, do we want United to lose? No. I don't want United to lose. Yeah, no, not a chance. I don't want United to lose by any chance. So, I think there's two ways. I don't see a draw. I really don't see a draw in this game. I think that's probably the least likely to happen. I think one of these teams is going to win it. I think Leeds will win it. But if United do win this game, I guarantee you it's going to look like a walk in the park for United. I think if we do win this game, it will be like 3-0. What do you think? What do you think would be the scoreline if we won the game?
If we win this game...
Hypothetically, if we had to win this game, what do you think the score would be? Because I think if we did win this game, I think we'd smack them. I think they're going to smack us or we're going to smack them. I think there's no in between.
Yeah. The only way we win this game is if somehow Leeds are tired. Our talent somehow is too much for them towards the end of the game. Something like we saw against West Ham, but Leeds aren't West Ham, to be honest. And I don't think we'll smack them. I just don't. Leeds are so relentless. Like, they don't have an off day. Like, the press is always there. And I just don't see how we're going to beat that to such an extent when we thrash them. So, at best, I do see a draw. But if we did win, I'm going to go... Yeah, I go first. I think that makes sense because Leeds will always score. I'm going to go for 3-2 or 3-3 as a draw.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think knowing our luck, actually, in the way United just works out, it could be a 0-0 draw, and be like, wow, what happened? What happened?
I'll be shocked.
All the hype for this game, and then.
But Everton did it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And to be honest, I haven't been able to watch Leeds that much over the last few weeks because of United fixtures and the shows and everything. So
yeah, it's
been a bit tough. But like I said, I've watched a lot of Leeds. I've done my research on Leeds. This is a good team. They're a good team. They might not have anywhere near the quality of players like us, but they're a very good team. So
yeah, but like, what does it say about Ole that our prediction?
I mean, it says what I say about it every week. It
says what our manager.
Yeah, that's how it says what I say every week. Don't think it's good enough. I think you have to give Bielsa this job. Oh Lord, you're going to see Paul Pogba become Usain Bolt.
I'd love that.
Yeah,
I'd love that.
He's my first choice man. In case you guys didn't know, I love Pochettino. But Bielsa is my first choice manager. If I could have any manager in the world besides Sir Alex Ferguson, it's probably Marcelo Bielsa. 100%. I'm taking Marcelo Bielsa tomorrow. He is my favorite manager. He is currently my favorite manager, without a doubt. I just love the guy. It's like almost to say whenever I watch him on the sideline, it's a lot what like I would see me as a manager. He's the guy. If he sits on that bucket. Quick backstory. Fun fact to end it off. Fun fact, the only reason he sits on the bucket or the cooler box, whatever you like to call it, is because when he was a young kid, he was grown and brought up like that, to be disciplined. He sat on an ice bucket. Yeah, so that's a young fun fact again, for you. But yeah, I just see everything, pacing up and down, passion, yelling, analyze the game like there's no tomorrow. It's a lot of what I would love as a United manager. That is something I want. I love that. I feel like if I was a manager, I'd be like Marcelo Bielsa, similar to. In fact, I completely forgot, but Diego Simeone, again, is another big advocate for Marcelo Bielsa. So you have Diego Simeone, Pep, and Pochettino backing Marcelo Bielsa. 3 world-class managers there, so...
Imagine. To make it worse, they play different styles. So that just says... Well, not all of them, but Simeone plays very different style to Poch and Pep. So that just shows the... What's the word? I'm forgetting the word, but it just shows how... Not diverse, man. I'm forgetting the word, but what a brilliant manager Marcelo.
Yeah, how tactically good Marcelo Bielsa is,
Yeah.
I get what you mean. He can change tactics like this in a game like this, and it'll look like they played it for 5 years. That's just the way his team is rolled. If he's like 4-1-4-1, 3-3-3, back 5, just switch it. He will do it.
Yeah. Football games at Old Trafford would be some other spice. So this one was there. Every week I'll be rushing to that TV just to see beautiful.
That's why I like watching Leeds. Leeds this season, if I had to take United out, I'd be supporting Leeds full time because I just love the way they manage, they play, everything about the charisma in those players, the work ethic of those players. I love it. I do like Leeds a lot. Call me a fake United fan all you want. It is what it is.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Can I ask something? Why do you like Marcelo Bielsa but you don't like Pep?
I don't know. It's just Marcelo Bielsa doesn't have that fire in him. I'm not Marcel. Pep. I feel like Pep doesn't have that fire in him, you know. That's what I mean. And I think
Okay.
I don't know. There's something different. I can't put my finger on it. And I just think tactically, when I watch Bielsa, I'm very entertained. When I watch Pep, I'm falling off to sleep. No matter
You
Pep
think
could be.
so?
For me personally, boy, I know you love him. I know
Even in
lots
the
of people.
100-point season.
Even in the 100-point
Even the
season,
100-point season.
when they're smacking team 6-0, boy, I can't watch that football. I really I can't watch that football. I don't know what it is about Pep, but I really can't watch that football. Side, 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 side. Because that's what that tactic is.
I don't want to
It's
make this a
tiki-taka.
Pep debate.
Pass the ball all around to train the opposition team into making a mistake and then punish them. That's what it is.
I get you. And I want to make this a Pep debate, but I feel like there has been a bit of a philosophy change in Pep. I think this season he's trying to be a bit more central, and it has made it boring. It is a ridiculous amount of passing. I feel like in the 100-point season, they did pass a lot, but it was quick and intense, and they would get behind the defense so much.
Yeah.
And not exactly like Bielsa, but I think very similar, to be honest.
No, but that's why Pep likes Bielsa. Because he said he built his module in his philosophy of football similar to the way Marcelo Bielsa did. You know? So yeah, they very like you look at Pochettino also. Look at Simeone. There's all things in common with them and Bielsa. Whether it be the personality, whether it be the attractiveness of the football, the both. All three of those managers are very tactically good. They read that game like no other managers can. You know, they will go into depth with it. They'll go that extra step. But the only thing I will say is that Poch, Pep, Simeone, look at the teams they've managed. Look at the team Bielsa manages, and look at the results Bielsa gets. Look at the way that team plays football with his team. And that's the thing. That's the beauty about Bielsa. Pep said it himself, and I applaud Pep to say this, is that Marcelo Bielsa will never get the credit he deserves as a football manager. One, because he never managed a big team or won significant trophies. The biggest team he's managed was Argentina national team. That was it. And I think he won a cup with them. Oh, and he won the Olympics with them, I think. I think that's what he did. He won the Olympics.
They haven't won anything in years.
Yeah.
And
the thing is, it's not like he was never wanted. Messi told the board to get Marcelo Bielsa in for the Barcelona job. And Bielsa said no.
That would have been amazing. I'll take him now. Couldn't believe.
I mean, there's very seldom teams that I know that won't take Marcelo Bielsa.
Yeah. I'm forgetting what I was... Oh, yeah. If anyone thinks that we're being harsh in terms of, let's say, him struggling to break down teams and getting more out of this team, I think Marcelo Bielsa is the biggest example. Like, instead of breaking out a team, Leeds beat us 15-0, and they're inferior players. So that just says everything. It says everything. We can't break down a low block. Leeds do it with much worse players.
Honestly, no disrespect to those Leeds players, bar like Calvin Phillips and a few others. But they are awful. They are not bowlers. Yeah. They are absolutely not bowlers. They are not. Yeah. But the way that team works, it's almost, it's like a baby Liverpool. It's like a baby Liverpool. Look at Liverpool.
Yeah, they
before
are.
Henderson became Henderson.
I was about to say the
before
exact
Van Dijk
same thing.
became Van Dijk. Before Salah was Salah. Mane was this Mane. It was like that. You could see like, this team, what's going on here? They're not the best. They're nowhere near by far the best in the world of players, but they look a lot better than they are. You know.
Yeah, I mean, like, even now, I just feel like Ronaldo is good, but he's not, I don't know, superstar good. Henderson, I don't think he's there either. Trent, going forward, but defensively, I don't think so. I just think the system, it's so effective that it makes these players look so much better. Yes, there are some really talented players in Liverpool. I'm not taking that away from them, but it makes them look, it puts them at the peak of their potential powers. And I just imagine just taking that Bielsa system and just throwing it in a team with talented players, throwing in a team like PSG or United. I think.
And the backstory with me and Bielsa is that the first time I ever heard about that name, Marcelo Bielsa, obviously I would have never known. But the first time I ever did, I was very young. You have one of those stupid conversations with your friends. Who's the greatest manager of all time? And I'm like, you go to any website, it will tell you the GOAT of management is Sir Alex Ferguson, right? And to prove me right, I went to every website, screenshot, look, it could be Forbes, it could be some stupid YouTube video with 10 views, 5 views, whatever it is, 100 million views, and they will all say Sir Alex Ferguson's number one. But there was always that one website, I'll never forget this. There was that one website I went to, don't ask me the name. I was a youth. I was like maybe 10, 11 years old by the time. And the one website was Sir Alex Ferguson second, and I was speechless. I was like, what? Sir Alex Ferguson, and then number one, ironically enough, was Marcelo Bielsa, and I was like, who the heck is this man? Who is who? I was like, who? Because like, who's this guy? Marcelo Bielsa? Are you crazy? So
Yeah.
and then also
think-
the second time I heard about Marcelo Bielsa is that a United fan called Nuruddin, he sometimes comes on that guy Red Devil on Twitter. That guy, when I remember when Leeds got promoted, I think he was speaking about how he would love Marcelo Bielsa just for 1 year at Man United, and this before I've watched Bielsa's football. So I'm like, there's that name again. Who is this guy? And then I did my research on him, and I was like, well, from what everything the stories, it was like I got very into it. I became very interested in Marcelo Bielsa, and I was like, okay, fair play. I'm very interested. You got my attention. Premier League starts. You in the league now. Let's let you go. I watched your first game against Liverpool. That 4-3. You had me from then. I've been since that day. I've been in love with Leeds United. So yeah.
Yeah, are we ruling out the possibility of somehow him I mean, Pochettino gets away. We are horrible this season. Leeds survive. Yeah, you never know. He's available. You never know.
The thing is, though, it's also Bielsa's old. He's very old. How many years will we get out of Bielsa? That's the other question.
That's the problem.
And the thing is,
That's
these big egos, I think that's also why Bielsa doesn't like it. Imagine a manager like
That's a
Bielsa
good
coming
point.
and Pogba's gonna be like, you got some old fart into the team. Why must I listen to this guy? Can't even speak English. What's going on? So it's just like I said, Pep summed it up. Marcelo Bielsa, he'll never get the credit he deserves. But he has these games. In fact, I'll end it off on this. One more story. One more backstory about Bielsa. The first time he popped into the scene, I think he beat Alex Ferguson's team. I don't know if it was the Celtic team or the United team, but in the Champions League semi-final, Bielsa beat that team like 3-0. Done, dusted. It was a tactical masterclass. Then he did it to Jose Mourinho. Done, dusted again. It's like out of nowhere. And then another thing great about this is that in that Amazon documentary, I seen a clip of it, where Leeds let Aston Villa win the game. Like literally, or was it draw the game? Literally, because Villa were complaining about something, Leeds were up, and they were like, take the ball, score a goal. Plus, Bielsa said, don't do anything, let them score a goal. They scored a goal. Villa scored a goal, literally ran through. What happened that season? Leeds still win the championship. This man, if you ever have free time, just do research on Bielsa. It's a very interesting story. Or even watch the documentary if it's available to you. I wouldn't be singing a rival friend's praises if I didn't believe in them.
Yeah.
Look at
if someone came on that swear, this is a Leeds fan, Jano. But yeah, I think a lot more people know about him.
Yeah.
Sadly, from our point of view.
Yeah, that's the thing. And our fan base will hate us. They'll probably think these guys don't like Holly. These guys they back. What's going on? Are you guys sure you're a United fan? Trust me, fam. Look at that flag at the back. I'm a United fan. I haven't missed a United game in over 10 years. Trust me, I'm a United fan. But I can recognize good football when I see it. I banter Pep. I'll banter Klopp. I'll banter Mourinho. I'll banter all these guys. Obviously, the rivals, whatever. But this Bielsa is just different. He's just different, And the contrast is big. It's not like, Leeds are going to win the title this year. It's just not going to happen. But they can beat you on their day. They can beat you. They will do a double over you. And like I said, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm allowed to boy. Any more interesting things you want to say? I've had my stories. Anything you wanted to mention? Talk about. Give us an Ollie backstory, quick. Since we've been talking, tell us about how great Ollie was.
Ollie backstory. He scored the goal in 1999.
There we go, and that's why he's in the top. He's got the
he got the top for 99.
Yeah, go YouTube Ollie 99 goal. That's why he's our manager. Literally, that's the reason.
Wow. Yeah, I know backstory. It's just a lot of worry. He's gonna ollie it up somehow.
Yep.
He's gonna make it worse than it already seems. So.
Yeah,
not much confidence in this game. I've already written this game off. After the game, maybe we can get back on track after that. And just, I'm seriously worried about this.
I'm gonna say this now. If United beat Bielsa's Leeds United, and it wasn't individual brilliance. We actually looked like there was tactics, and there was a plan behind the win. You best believe I'm gonna give Ollie applause, because that's something I don't think I could do. I don't. You know, I do think I can beat Ollie on the day, but to be honest, if you have to ask me to go beat Bielsa, you're asking for a bit. You know, you're asking for a lot. So you know, I might be Ollie out. You know, I might not think he's the right guy, but you beat Bielsa tactically. I will give you all the praise you deserve on that day. Trust me, Ollie. I will. So there's no agenda there. Trust me, you beat Bielsa fair and square. No Bruno Bantus. I'll give you credit.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see Marcus's preview. I think he might give maybe a little more leeway to United. He's all about the position in the league and how being a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, Marcus is probably like, you know, it's Leeds, we United, are you guys crazy? We're gonna smack them 3-0, let's move on.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see his preview. But
yeah. So like I said,
I think the reaction is going to be very interesting. Claire will be back, and I think it's going to be heated.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're neutral watching the show, please do watch that game if you can on Sunday. It'll be interesting. Join us for a match reaction. Turn on notifications also, so you don't miss out on any of our shows. But yeah, gentlemen, it's been a good show. It's only been 2 of us. Yet the show goes on. It was a juicy show, like I promised. It was a juicy show. Look at that. Look at the keys. Look at everything on the board. It's crazy. But yeah, like I said, if you are new to the channel, do subscribe. Do smash a like on the video. Comment down below any stories, you know, backstories you are interested, something we might have missed with Bielsa, or even Ollie, you know, United, something we missed. Yeah, maybe Ollie. Maybe we're clearly missing something that's like, guys, we are going to win this game, and I can tell you why. Because Ollie plays, I don't know, 1-2-1-2, and then in the net back, you know, I don't know, some juju. Tell us that in the comments down below. But yeah,
you can tell us about the PSG moment again.
Yeah, tell us about the PSG moment. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a good show. Yeah, and we shall check you Sunday night, Manchester United versus Leeds United, big game, and we will see you in our match reaction, boys. Take care.